how to make a strong first impression in 30 seconds. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It truly helps the channel grow and continue to create contents like this. A first impression happens before you finish your first sentence. It's fast, it's mostly subconscious, and it's wildly influential. People don't like hearing that because it sounds unfair, like you're being judged on something shallow. But the reality is, humans are pattern recognition machines. We're constantly asking, is this person safe, competent, confident, friendly, worth listening to? And we answer those questions in seconds. The good news is, you don't need to be flashy, extroverted, or perfect to make a strong first impression. You just need to be intentional with a few fundamentals that signal calm, warmth, and credibility right away. And when you stack those signals correctly, you walk into almost any situation, meeting, interview, party, networking event, first date, and you immediately feel the difference. Think of the first 30 seconds like the opening scene of a movie. You're not trying to tell the whole story. You're setting the tone. You're letting people know what kind of experience they're about to have with you. Most people mess this up because they focus on the wrong thing. They focus on what to say. They rehearse clever lines, interesting facts, funny comments. But what people remember isn't your line. They remember your energy. They remember whether you made them feel at ease or tense, whether you felt present or distracted, whether you seemed secure or needy. Words matter, but the nonverbal stuff is the headline. The first impression starts with how you enter, not in a dramatic way, just how you arrive. If you walk in fast, scanning, half-hunched, looking for where to stand, you're telling the room you're uncertain. If you walk in at a steady pace, shoulders relaxed, chin neutral, and you take 1 second to orient, you're telling the room you can handle yourself. It's subtle, but it's loud to the nervous system. Then there's your face. People underestimate how much their default expression shapes perception. If your face is tight, serious, guarded, people feel it and they mirror it. If your face is relaxed, with a slight softness around the eyes, it signals openness. You don't need a huge smile. A huge smile can even feel forced. You need warmth, a small, genuine expression that says, I'm comfortable being here. Eye contact is next. Eye contact is one of the most direct signals of confidence and trust. But it's not staring. It's not intensity. It's simply meeting someone's eyes when you greet them, holding it for a beat, then relaxing. People who avoid eye contact often seem unsure, even when they're not. People who lock in too hard can seem aggressive. The sweet spot is calm connection. Look, acknowledge, relax. Now add the handshake or greeting, whatever is appropriate for the context. The goal isn't dominance, it's clarity. A weak handshake can read as uncertainty. An overly strong handshake reads as insecurity disguised as power. You want steady, brief, confident. If there's no handshake, the same principle applies to your greeting gesture and posture. Clear and relaxed. Then you speak. This is where most people speed up and sabotage themselves. They talk faster than normal because their body is running on adrenaline. Fast speech reads as nervousness. Slow, steady speech reads as confidence. The irony is, you don't need to speak slowly like a narrator. You just need to remove the rush. Give yourself a half second before you answer. Let your words land. That tiny pause makes you sound grounded and intentional. Your first sentence should do one thing: create ease, not impress. Ease. That might be a simple greeting with warmth. It might be a quick observation about the shared context. It might be a brief introduction that's clear and calm. The goal is to reduce social friction. When you reduce friction, people relax. When people relax, they like you more. That's just how humans work. And here's the key: warmth first, competence second. If you lead with competence without warmth, you can come across cold or intimidating. If you lead with warmth without competence, you can come across unserious. The strongest first impressions blend both. Warmth says, I'm safe. Competence says, I'm capable. You want both signals in the first 30 seconds. Warmth is tone, facial expression, and the way you listen. Competence is clarity, steadiness, and not over-explaining. If you can combine a friendly tone with clear, concise answers, you're already ahead of most people. Listening is a secret weapon here. A lot of people think the first impression is about how they present themselves. But one of the fastest ways to make a strong impression is to make the other person feel like they matter. If you ask a simple question and genuinely listen, they feel seen. That feeling becomes your reputation in their mind. Another underrated element, your hands. If your hands are fidgeting, your energy looks scattered. If your hands are calm, resting, gesturing naturally, your energy looks controlled. People read hands the way they read a voice. It's all communication. Now, clothing and grooming do matter, but not in the way people obsess over. It's not about being fashionable. It's about being intentional, clean, fitted, appropriate to the environment. If your appearance signals you respect the setting, people assume you respect yourself and others. That's a competence cue. Scent matters too, and people forget this. Overpowering scent can be distracting. No scent can be fine. Light, clean scent can be positive. The goal is never to announce yourself. It's to be easy to be around. Another thing, phone behavior. If you're holding your phone when you meet someone, or you glance at it, you instantly communicate that this interaction is not your priority. That's a silent insult, even if you don't mean it that way. Put the phone away. Give the moment your full attention. That alone creates a strong impression because so few people do it. So how do you execute all of this in 30 seconds without feeling like you're acting? You focus on one thing, regulation. If your body is calm, your behavior becomes naturally confident. If your body is anxious, you'll try to compensate with words. Most first impression mistakes are compensation. A simple pre-entry routine can change everything. Before you walk into a room, inhale slowly, exhale longer than the inhale, relax your shoulders, and set one intention. Be present. That's it. Presence is the engine. Then you walk in, you look up, you orient, you greet. You don't rush, you don't perform, you don't chase, you simply connect. And if you feel nervous, that's normal. The goal isn't to eliminate nervousness. The goal is to keep nervousness from driving the car. You can be nervous and still be grounded. People don't judge nervousness as harshly as they judge frantic energy. Nervousness with calm behavior reads as authenticity. Nervousness with frantic behavior reads as instability. Recovery is where strong first impressions are either cemented or quietly redeemed. People assume that confidence means never stumbling, but in reality, confidence is revealed in how you handle small imperfections. A slight pause, a forgotten name, a moment of awkwardness. None of these ruin a first impression unless you tense up and fight them. If you miss a name, calmly asking again is far better than pretending you heard it. If you stumble over a word, a brief smile and reset is better than rushing through it. Recovery shows composure. Composure signals maturity. Maturity reads as confidence. Different environments ask for different versions of the same fundamentals. In a professional setting, like a meeting or interview, clarity becomes especially important. Your greeting should be direct, your posture upright but relaxed, your voice steady. Over-politeness can actually weaken a first impression in these settings. You don't need to apologize for existing. You just need to be respectful and clear. In social settings, warmth carries more weight. People want to know you're approachable. That doesn't mean being overly enthusiastic or trying to entertain. It means being open, smiling with your eyes, listening fully, responding naturally. People feel when you're genuinely present instead of scanning for your next move. One mistake people make in social situations is trying to stand out immediately. They think the goal of the first 30 seconds is to be memorable. But memorable doesn't mean loud. It means distinct. And distinct usually comes from being grounded, not exaggerated. In interviews, many people sabotage themselves by over-talking in the first minute. They're nervous, so they try to prove competence quickly. But the strongest candidates don't rush. They answer clearly, then stop. They let silence exist. That silence doesn't weaken them, it strengthens their presence. Interviewers remember calm candidates because calm signals capability under pressure. Another powerful element of a strong first impression is emotional containment. If you're excited, great, but don't spill it everywhere. If you're nervous, that's okay, but don't apologize for it. Emotional containment doesn't mean being cold. It means being regulated. People trust regulated energy. Your body language does most of the work here. Feet planted, weight balanced, shoulders loose. When your body looks stable, your mind follows, and when your mind is steady, everything you say sounds more credible. One overlooked habit that strengthens first impressions is speaking slightly less than you think you should. When you leave space, others step in. When others step in, they feel involved. Involvement builds connection faster than performance ever could. It's also worth noting that first impressions are shaped by consistency, not perfection. If your initial presence is calm and warm, people will interpret minor missteps generously. If your initial presence is frantic or forced, even small mistakes feel bigger. Another thing that quietly strengthens first impressions is curiosity. Not curiosity as a tactic, but genuine interest. When you ask someone a question because you actually want to know the answer, it shows, and people feel that difference immediately. Being interesting is optional. Being interested is powerful. This applies everywhere. Dates, meetings, casual introductions. People walk away thinking, that felt good, even if they can't explain why. That feeling becomes your reputation. One subtle but important point. First impressions aren't about controlling how people see you. They're about allowing people to see you clearly. When you try to manage perception too tightly, you become stiff. When you allow yourself to be present and responsive, you become human. Humans connect with humans, not performances. And this is where authenticity comes in. Not the oversharing kind, but the regulated kind. You don't need to reveal your life story. You just need to be congruent. Let your words, tone, and body language tell the same story. Congruence creates trust faster than charm ever could. If you feel like you've made a weak first impression in the past, that doesn't mean you're bad at it. It usually means your nervous system was running the show, and the good news is nervous systems can be trained. With repetition, intentional pacing, and self-awareness, first impressions stop feeling like a test and start feeling like a moment. A strong first impression isn't about winning people over. It's about starting from a place of mutual ease. When you walk in grounded, people meet you there. The irony is that the more you focus on making a good first impression, the worse it often gets. Unless you focus on it and instead focus on being present, calm, and respectful, the stronger it becomes. So the real skill isn't mastering a script, it's mastering yourself in the moment. Slowing down, breathing, showing up as someone who trusts their ability to respond. That's what people feel in the first 30 seconds. Not your resume, not your wit, your steadiness. And when you lead with steadiness, you don't just make a strong first impression, you make a lasting one.